Hi everyone, this is Balázs from RacingBrick. Today I'm back with my Rebrickable series and I've brought you something really unique and exciting. So far you could see a lot of builds that were alternative to a specific LEGO set, which makes them easily accessible but also limits the part usage. This time I've chosen a designer who builds speed champion scale vehicles but doesn't compromise on parts usage or complexity. This is the Rebrickable profile page of the GT3 and as you can see there really is a lot to explore here. By the way, there is a discount on these instructions for RacingBrick viewers only. I will give you the details at the end of the video. I saw his creations at a car show earlier this year and really wanted to take a closer look at them. I had the option to collect parts myself and build a car or two to show you in detail, but I prefer to go the other way, contact the designer himself and bring you a larger collection. This way I can show you all the building process, but I have studied the instructions and will highlight many cool tricks and details. So here they are, an awesome speed champion scale car transporter and a bunch of cool cars. I recently reviewed the LEGO City Formula 1 truck with the two F1 cars and many of you have asked me if it can be upscaled to fit speed champions cars. Here you can see both together and it is easy to imagine how big this one must be to fit these cars. The City F1 truck can certainly be used as a base, but it needs a lot of parts to grow considerably. A little warning before we take a closer look at the builds. You will see some modifications that are not for LEGO purists, such as chromed parts, pieces being cut or painted, some connections that are considered illegal, but that can be part of the deal if you want to recreate a mock from the GBrix. I will obviously start with the truck and trailer. It has a whole bunch of chrome parts that are custom made. You can't just buy them from a bricklink store, there are some people online making these. You will get the list of parts to send them when you buy the instructions. You can of course use regular pieces, but they don't look nearly as good as these. People have a habit of comparing LEGO designers to mock designers and praising the latter for their part usage, attention to detail and so on. I'm not going to continue the debate here, but I do want to point something out. LEGO designers have to work with the parts that are produced at a certain point in time, while mock designers can use any LEGO parts that have ever been released. For example, these doors were only released in a single set in black 8 years ago. You can also try to find other older mold variants in good condition, but they will be 20-30 years old, so good luck with that. Or here's another one in the trailer that I didn't recognize at first glance. It was a fairly common piece 30-40 years ago. This solution was used here as an homage to a 1996 set, the Indy Transport, which used the same configuration. It allows for a better range of motion than a more common but more rigid connection. The engine cover can be opened and you can take a look at the engine inside. The hinge here is also a tricky solution that allows the entire cover to be moved behind the bumper. The cab has two seats. The clever design of the windshield with the two halves facing each other is particularly noteworthy. In the rear part there is a comfortable bed with additional equipment. Now let's take a look at the trailer. This has some working features using several gears, some that you can see here. The first knob on the side extends the legs. This is a rather simple mechanism. The second one is more complicated. In the center you see a series of gears that drive the three visible 8-tooth gears, and the two outer ones move the hidden gear racks and the whole assembly between the upper and lower levels to raise and lower the top section. Very cool. At the front is a storage compartment with doors, which of course has tricky hinges, and here are the ramp extensions needed to allow the cars to go up and down. We can altogether fit 5 cars on the trailer, 3 can go on the top, 2 on the bottom. In the upper section you can fit cars with a width of 9 studs, 8 stud wide ones fit at the bottom. The cars need some extra help to drive up. This is similar to the official LEGO solution, these cars are just too low. Now for the cars. I will start with my absolute favorite, which may not be the same as yours, the Hyundai N Vision 74 concept car. I simply love the look of the real one, and this LEGO interpretation is similarly cool. Here you can see some of the modifications I talked about earlier. The wheels are hand painted, and this is a piece of red hose cut to size in the center of the rear wheel. But there are tons of other great details, like the half of the front built upside down, the ingenious use of parts for the pixelated headlights, the very subtle angle of the hood sitting on a hinge. The windshield and roof can be removed to reveal the two full-size seats. Yes, it takes a bold driver to fit into a car this low, and even the hydrogen tank is replicated there. Another tricky detail to show here is the grille piece in front of the rear wheel. It's the same part as this one, but attached to a hinge to make it look parallel to the side of the car. The rear is also worth a look. The iconic triangular light in the center is apart upside down, no big deal, but the two assemblies of the diffuser and the entire rear of the car are also built sideways and look pretty sturdy, but they are held in place by a single bar and still fit seamlessly. There's a lot that goes into these cars. They are definitely not easy to build, but they are certainly full of tricky techniques. And now for the next one, the Lamborghini Huracan Evo. First of all, I love the windshield. Yes, these are Lego hoses cut to a specific length with minifigure hands stuck in them, but the whole thing just looks brilliant. Then there's the front section with these 1x1 plates that are held at a specific angle with clips. Practically everything is angled here. And so it goes on. The door is slanted, but not only in this direction, but also towards the rear. Yes, it takes advantage of the tolerance of the Lego parts, it's quite stable, but you wouldn't find this solution in an official Lego set. My absolute favorite parts on the back are the red minifigure hands, used as lights, but there are many other interesting building techniques here as well. There is an official Technic version of the next car in 1/8 scale, but now it's also available in Speed Champion scale. Just a few highlights as there's too much detail. If we take a look at the side of the car, you can see that basically the whole rear section is angled along with the doors. This small section is built flat, this one above the front wheels as well, but the whole nose section sits on a hinge again. This part is held by the piece that is the headlight, and underneath that we have a bunch of upside down tiles. The best trick is at the rear. Here are these grille parts all around, and the ones at the corners are held by black minifigure hands. It's not super stable, but it snaps into place at the required angle and won't fall out by itself. Oh, and the engine cover fits nicely with the surrounding parts, although it's a separate assembly that you push in at the end. What else? Actually just a few highlights from the rest of the cars. All these robot arms that make the front assembly of the Ferrari Roma possible, including this claw piece that is just the perfect headlight for this car. Or this geometric madness on the front of the Alfa Romeo Giulia GTV, including the grille and the brick-built headlights with the same part in the normal position and upside down right next to it. And the Porsche 911 GT3 RS with a slightly illegal connection for the slanted tile on the front, or this angled double-sided assembly in the middle. So many cool details. Of course, there are compromises. Most of the cars lack the usual steering wheel. There are some parts you shouldn't grab, but in general, these cars are designed to be sturdy enough to be pushed around on the table. They are definitely not playsets for children, but hold together as display pieces. The building process is definitely not a walk in the park, but you do get very detailed digital building instructions with lots of extra explanation. So if you are interested in crazy building techniques and aren't afraid of a little challenge, I highly recommend these cars. What about the price? Aside from the cost of the instructions, I could buy the parts for the Hyundai, for example, for about 40 euros, excluding shipping, the Ferrari Roma for about 30 euros, most cars are in this range. The truck, of course, is a different story. Together with the trailer, as I checked, the parts can be bought between 200 and 250 euros, depending on your location and your patience to collect them, of course. The chrome bits will cost you another 30-40 euros. As you can see, these cars are not exactly cheap to build, but I think the experience and the end result are worth it. And if you watch the video to the end, here's the reward. The GBrix is offering you a 20% discount code for Christmas on all instructions you find under his Rebrickable profile. The code is GBrix20, it's valid until the 26th of December. So folks, please let me know how you like these cars, or the truck with the trailer, which one would you build? Let's talk about it in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe with notifications, because more exciting LEGO videos are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.